After signing as a free agent with the Blues this summer, Derek Roy returns to the place where it all started, Buffalo, New York. Can Roy and the Blues get back on track tonight? We drop the puck next. The Blues on the road in Buffalo, where they have gone 7-1-1 in their last 9 games in this city. Time to check tonight's Dobbs starting goaltender. Jaromír Halak is back in. He was pulled after allowing 3 goals on 6 shots in Washington. Ryan Miller won the Vezina Trophy back in 09-10. He has started 4 of the last 5 games and is the workhorse for Ted Nolan. Blues hockey brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Sabres come in front, and they score right off the faceoff. Tyler Ennis, and it's 1-0.
What a start for Teddy Nolan, and what a miserable start for the St. Louis Blues. They gave up a goal early in Washington, 7:17 into it. Then they gave up another one at 12:34, and the third one by Grabowski at 15:41. They talked all day and yesterday about the start in this game, lack of coverage, fumbling the puck. Billy Leno does a great job here on the back end, makes a perfect feed, and you see that Tyler Ennis, a smaller player, gets inside position on Alex Pietrangelo, and it is 1-0 before my coffee even gets a little bit cool up here.
10 seconds in. And it's 1-0 Buffalo. Ennis is 4th of the year. Now the Blues back in. It's David Backes. He'll cruise back of the goal. Hiroshi right in on goal. A shot. And a save by Miller. It's loose. Sabres clear it. Kept in. Here's Kevin Shattenkirk. And that drive goes wide. And around to Jackman, and it bounced on him. And it goes all the way down the ice. And both clubs make changes. And here's the captain, Backes. And that pass hit a skate, goes back to Ian Cole, to his partner, Jackman. Now 4th all time in Blues history with game number 653 for Barrett Jackman. As he passes Gary Unger. Now Chris Stewart in there. For Morrow. Back to Pollock, a fluttering shot. Rebounded from Morrow. He scores! And the Blues come right back. About a minute later, and Brendan Morrow ties the game.
What a way to respond for Ken Hitchcock and the Blues. Great job keeping the puck in deep. And this comes on the heels of a good opportunity from Shattenkirk on the shift before from the right point. There's the turnover by Stewart, who'd been sicker than a dog for yesterday and this morning. Didn't even skate. He was actually questionable going into this one. But he makes a terrific play. And watch Brendan Morrow. Works the boards, comes out in front here. Nice little backhand pass by Stewart. He's got eyes in the back of his head on that little play.
And the goal comes 59 seconds after Ennis scored. Morrow gets his first in 5 games. And it's 1-1. And this has the makings of a shootout here in Buffalo. Now Pietrangelo. Or Max Lapierre. He'll go back of the goal for Bouwmeester. Not dressed tonight for the Blues. Carlo Koliakovo, Patrick Berglund with that upper body. And Adam Krechtel is a healthy scratch. And Jordan Leopold is out long-term after finger surgery. As the Sabres walk it in, Leno for Ennis. Back of the goal. Steered around by Jackman. And chopped that by Magnus Paajarvi and back to center ice. Now Tyler Myers throws it right back in there. And Jackman for Shattenkirk. Up the far wing. Shattenkirk gets in there. Sabres intercept. And then it goes to Jackman again. The Buffalo goal. Ennis from Leno and to Linder. That made it 1-0, but the Blues came back. And a shot on goal, a bouncer, and a save by Ryan Miller. Now back on the line. Bouwmeester, a wrister. And that caught the end boards. Picked up by Steen. Here's Alexander Steen, who had his 13-game point streak in the other night. And that shot is on goal, taken care of by Miller.
Well, once you give up a goal that early in the game, the important shift is the one right after that. And so the top line with David Backes had a good shift. Then they make a line change, shot from the point. There's big Roman Pollock with that blast. That starts things off. And then the play from behind, and Brendan Morrow's got a real quick release on that snapshot. We watch it time and time in practice, and he's got a really discreet release to his shot.
And a shot by Cole is blocked. John Scott, the big guy, at 6'8". Gets it in deep. Now Cody McCormick in there. The Sabres energy line on the ice. But the Blues are away with Tarasenko. That pass picked off. By the way, the Blues assist Stewart and Pollock on that goal by Morrow. Coming within a minute of the Buffalo tally. Now Sabotka in front. Tarasenko a shot. And it's up in the air and it wobbles into the glove of Miller. And we get a face-off. One area that Hitchcock thought they could expose the Sabres, Darren, was get the puck behind their defense and work it down low.
No question. I thought on the road, I thought Hitchcock got a good matchup right there. The fourth line, a relatively slower line for the Buffalo Sabres, and Hitchcock was able to get their best line that was on the ice in Washington out against the John Scott line.
And now Derek Roy, the former Sabre, wins it. Back for Bouwmeester. He'll feed one back of the goal now to Morrow. And then to Roy. In the slot, and a quick shot by Stewart. And that's a stop in the glove by Miller.
Good start for the Chris Stewart line, and we now have a moment to go to our Toyota keys to the game. We're early, not even 4 minutes into this contest, and 2 goals early. Attack early, put Sabres on their heels, and certainly outwork Miller on those loose pucks around the net. Do not get outworked like they did against Braden Holtby in Washington.
Now it is centered Morrow. He'll bang one to the corner. And taken by Leno. For Mike Weber, who's off IR, had a broken finger, and the Blues fire it right back in. They tag up, so play continues. And it's Weber again. Now for Jamie McBain, who had a goal in their last game. That's tipped away, and it goes over the boards at the Blues bench.
You know, a lot of times when you're not feeling well, and the flu will often go just rampantly through teams, and you know, for the Blues, they're on the road trip, and Stewart not feeling very good yesterday, not feeling good this morning, and then you just get into your gear and you get going. He's had a really, really good start, you know, with Brendan Morrow. I like when Brendan Morrow's on his line. I think Brendan Morrow pushes him to another level of hockey.
And one thing, Tanger, when you feel a little sick, you're a little lighter.
Right?
You feel like you're a little faster. It's really interesting how that happens. So I'm sure that Stewie's not feeling that bad at all. A good start for him.
I was worried about Pollock eating all those chicken wings there, but he's got an assist early on. So.
Now the Sabres and Drew Stafford. Stafford going wide, and a shot, and a save by Halak with the blocker. And Backes slings one to center ice. And here is Myers, chased by Steen. And then handed back to Linder. And the Sabres maneuver it back down the ice. Halak plays one. Now Stafford comes in. Back of the goal. Marcus Foligno, whose dad Mike played here. That shot blocked. And now the Sabres after it again. Here's Girgensons, number 28. Zemgus Girgensons to the corner. On the cycle. Foligno plays one back to the corner. And then Ryan Reeves there. Foligno long shot. That goes well wide of the goal. And smacked ahead by Shattenkirk. Blues can't get it out. Foligno again. And that did come out. And then Mark Keswick brought it back in, but it's offside.
Just outside the line. Good break there for the Blues. If Pysyk says just a little bit, another foot and a half, he keeps that in, and he's right in a real good position there to fire the puck. But the certainly the Buffalo Sabres, they made some changes today to move some players down to the minors, and you know, Teddy Nolan talked an awful lot about that, and that the anointment of players, you have to go down and sometimes just earn your spots before you're handed your spots, and this is the biggest change that Buffalo's made besides the president and the coach.
Here's a drive from the point by McBain. That hit a stick. At one point, they had 4 teenagers and 5 other players under 24 in their lineup. Now the Sabres have it down low. Here's Corey Tropp.
Can't win in this league with that. It's just too young. Too young.
And as you said, Nolan knows it because his son Jordan with the Kings, a young guy, and as the Blues are offside here. And he said that Jordan went away at 14 to play junior hockey, and he said in hindsight it was too young.
Yeah, that's exactly right. So, I mean, so many teams have gone through that anointment process, and to a certain extent, the Blues went through that post-lockout. For Ted Nolan and Pat LaFontaine, the Hall of Famer, they recognize that. That's why I expected a big start from the Sabres. Well, they didn't disappoint. They scored 10 seconds into the game.
Although they've been outscored 29-3 in the first periods this year. It's 1-1 here. As Ennis, the goal scorer, shoots one to the end boards. Leno was after it, the former Redwood. This player went down, no call. No, there was. The back referee made the call. As Tom Cowell and Dan O'Halloran, they did get it right. And O'Halloran from center ice made the call.
Ennis went in there to support his centerman, Ville Leno. And in the offensive zone, they end up tripping up Derek Roy there. The stick's between Derek Roy's legs and kind of corkscrews him there as Derek Roy was trying to extend. So the former Buffalo Sabre, Derek Roy, creates a power play. Roy will stay on the ice taking this face-off.
And the Blues have the #1 power play at 25.4%. Sabres just under 80%. Here's Shattenkirk. Blues get it set up. Oshie back on the line now. Pass into Steen. A drive and a pad save by Miller. Good chance there for Steen. And then Oshie walks the line. Dealt back to Shattenkirk. Oshie again, very patiently around the outside for Steen. The NHL's point leader. Tied for the goal-scoring lead is Steen. Oshie again back for Steen. In for Shattenkirk. He looks around, backdoor feed. Oh, Oshie was there. And the puck rolled on him. He had a wide open net. What a play there. And now Steen again. 40 gone in the power play. Steen hands it back. Now Steen gets it back. His tips it just wide. And now Roy recovers it. He was checked, and it's hammered down the ice by Christian Ehrhoff.
Great improvement there. Number one with the face-off win by Derek Roy. That keeps the pressure in the offensive zone. And number two, that backdoor play was perfectly executed. They worked on it in practice today. They made some adjustments. And that's just a well-executed play that just wasn't finished off by Oshie.
Yeah, he has mattered himself here in the bench too, Penger. I mean, that was one of those, if you looked at an automatic goal.
And now Sobotka comes into the Blues power play. Vladdy sends it back to Pietrangelo. And then Sobotka, very patiently to Pietrangelo. A shot, that's blocked down in front. Sabres have a chance to clear it, and they do. And the Blues have to retreat. 20 seconds left in Ennis's minor. Sobotka. And he'll cruise through the neutral zone. Off the boards to himself. What a play by Vladdy Sobotka. Now gets set up. Back of the line to Pietrangelo. And then Shattenkirk walks in. Shattenkirk a shot. I think that hit his own man Stewart. Now Shattenkirk back of the goal. For Stewart in front. Schwartz had a whack. Missed it. And now back for Sobotka. Sabres are back at full strength. Shattenkirk to the left side for Stewart. So the Sabres kill it off, as the Blues do have a couple of good chances. And then Weber plays it back for McBain. Up the boards. Oh, Tarasenko almost picked that off. And now Morrow into the zone to Tarasenko. Here come the Blues. And just out of the reach of Backes, and then he goes down after Weber got a piece of him. Now Morrow trying to kick it away to the front to Backes. Backhander on goal. And it trickles just wide as Miller kept it out. Pressure by the Blues here. Tarasenko a shot on goal again. And there's Ryan Miller.
Great job by Miller holding the line like that with a very aggressive play from his Olympic teammate David Backes, who tries to jam it in on him. This game tied up at 1. Well, when you have a successful power play, you're always worried about other teams knowing exactly what you're doing. The last three, the power play is 35.7%. This morning, Ken Hitchcock brings that #1 group together. They're altering some of the plans. The first part is winning the faceoff, but our Plaza Tire Service replay shows this pass by Shattenkirk, backdoor play there by TJ Oshie, and it all started with a good faceoff win by Derek Roy.
Since the Sabre goal, the Blues have tied it and outshot Buffalo 10-1 since that early goal. The shots are 10-2 St. Louis. Now the Sabres stealing at center ice. Cordy Hodgson. Hodgson moves in. Pass in front to Stafford. And then a backhander on goal by Molson, the former Islander. And a save by Halak.
Odd man break here for this dangerous line. This is the top line for the Buffalo Sabres, without a doubt, with Matt Molson and Cody Hodgson and Drew Stafford. And, of course, Molson came over in that Vanek deal, and he's a crafty player. He has some great hands, and you can see that Pietrangelo got caught a little up ice right there, dives back, breaks up the play to Stafford, and then an innocent little backhander by Matt Molson. Easy save there for Yaroslav Halak.
Again, Halak was pulled after allowing 3 goals on 6 shots. And right back in goal tonight. But that's what you do with your number one goaltender. Get him right on the horse.
No question. I had a good conversation with Jaro Halak, especially about that third goal that he gave up by Mikhail Grabovski. And he knew that he had to control that puck, push it to the side, and it was just a bad rebound and a little bit of bad luck, too.
Now Ott comes in, and a drive, and Halak looked behind him, but the shot by Steve Ott, the former Star, is in the goaltender paraphernalia of Halak.
Blues are going to have to tighten up the gaps. That's one area that they thought they could expose Steve Ott and the Buffalo Sabres in, and that gap closure of the Buffalo Sabres through the neutral zone. But instead, it's the Buffalo Sabres that have had an odd man break prior to that. And then that shot there with the Blues backing up and no backside pressure on Ott, he gets a pretty good chance there.
Sabres got that early goal. Bernie, you were in Winnipeg one night when they scored quicker than 10 seconds against your club.
Yeah, I think it's still a record. Doug Smale scored the goal. Paul Skidmore's first NHL game. It was a very interesting start to the game, and I believe we did come back and win that game, though, if I'm not mistaken. Have to look at the record books to see it, but it was a tough night for a starting goaltender to have something like that happen. But, you know, it happens to everybody. You got to just fight through it.
What was that, 4 seconds in Winnipeg?
I believe so, Johnny.
Now the Sabres come right up the middle, and Girgensson tried to get a shot. That was blocked, and now the Blues recover, and Pollock up the wing for Jaden Schwartz. On to center, Sabotka. And now Ian Cole joins the party. Here's Cole, a shot, and a stick save by Miller. And recovered by number 65, Brian Flynn, who was signed as a free agent.
Great execution there by the Blues. 5-man unit moving up the ice, getting a real good shot and a good stick save there, controlling the rebound by Miller.
Blues 5-1-1 their last 7. The Sabres have lost 7 of 10, but did win their first game under Ted Nolan. Now the Blues at center ice. Lapierre sends one to the corner. Reeves trying to hunt it down against Pesek. And Reeves wins the board battle. Jackson can't hold it, and the puck rolled on him. And now the Sabres can make a change on the fly as the Blues head back. 9:15 left first period. In a 1-1 game, Shattenkirk to center. KRV tips it, but that's recovered by Ehrhoff. And that pass up the wall. Shattenkirk steps up on John Scott, and the Blues get it back. And Jackman's feed behind Reeves, who was going off anyhow. And now the Blues make a change on the move.
Yeah, they're able to get David Backes out there again against the Cody Hodgson line. So good line change there by the Blues.
And now Pesek away from Alexander Steen. Pass on to number 21, Drew Stafford, their first-round pick in 04. And that rolls behind Halak, who puts it high on the glass for Steen. And he chops the puck. Hodgson trying to glove it down. Now the Blues get it. And here comes Pietrangelo. And he goes wide. Drops it off to Bouwmeester, a shot. And that goes wide. And then Steen on the boards for Pietrangelo. He works ahead. Wrist shot. Tip. Bounces wide to Miller. And the Sabres and Stafford back to center ice. One thing the Blues tried a lot at practice this morning was high point shots. Trying to get the puck elevated on Miller. As now Stewart feeds it in the slot. Roy was in the area but couldn't get it. Now back to center ice, recovered by Roy into Morrow. And then Morrow steps in, but the play is offside. 1-1 here in Buffalo, New York.
Through the first period here in Buffalo, the two teams tied at 1, and it's been about 2.5 years since we've been in this building. Of course, last year because of just playing against the Western Conference, but certainly the changes have been made here under the new owner, Terry Pegula. He's spent an awful lot of money in this building. You can see all the retired numbers. You got pictures, every kind of thing that you want to see in the hall, going out to the locker room, honoring all the old players. And, of course, there's the new president of hockey operations, Pat LaFontaine, who had his jersey retired here a few years ago. But what a beautiful locker room and everything. They've just done a marvelous job, and not in the training facilities, but in the locker room itself. So this team is, I'm sure, going to head in the right directions very quickly under the leadership of Pat LaFontaine and the new coach, Ted Dolan.
Bernie, the score that night when the Blues played here was 3-0, but that was secondary because it was a pretty big day in Blues history. They traded Eric Brewer in the afternoon to Tampa Bay, and that night they traded Eric Johnson to Colorado. And we found out about that deal when we landed in St. Louis.
That was a hockey deal. That was a blockbuster hockey deal.
Was it ever? orchestrated by Doug Armstrong.
Yeah, good to see Tim Taylor and Rob DeMaio on hand here tonight. Two members, valuable members of Doug Armstrong's scouting staff on the pro side.
And we get some pushing behind the Blues goal. And the referee comes in there, Dan O'Halloran, number 13. And he's directing some traffic. And
he's not going to...
We're going to send somebody off.
Interesting. I mean, in a game like this, there haven't been any scrums. And we saw this in the game in Washington, to pick one guy out of it. From 95 to 97, when Teddy Nolan was the head coach here, the Sabres fought 192 times. So you expect a rugged game. But let's just keep our eye on it. There's Roman Polak there. We got Ennis. I mean, Ott is the one that grabs onto Roman Polak. So Stewart just grabs Ott. This is the way the game gets played. Ott grabs Polak. You go in there and you grab Ott. I can't believe they're making one call in this. I can't believe it.
That is, especially when it's Steve Ott, too. I mean, come on now. That's unbelievable.
Just hockey sense.
Yeah.
Tells you the developing situation.
Oh, man.
You know what?
And, of course, Ott and Morrow played together in Dallas. But Stewart gets the minor. Sabres on the power play. Their first of the night. Just over 15% on the year. That's ranked 22nd. Here's Ehrhoff, number 10, for McBain. And then to Ennis as they get set up through a seam. Ehrhoff had moved in, but it bounced on him. Now it comes back in front. Then Backes with time. Whips it all the way down the ice.
That was a slow developing situation there. Ennis was waiting for Ehrhoff to jump in, backdoor play, just like what we showed you with the Blues. So obviously that right D is going to have to be aware of the defenseman jumping in.
Sabres have scored 3 power play goals in their last 3 games. Ennis gets it, now loses it. And Jaden Schwartz for Sobotka. And he goes wide against McBain. And they come shoulder to shoulder behind Ryan Miller. And Sobotka killing some time there on this Buffalo power play, and now it's walked along by Cody Hodgson, the former first-rounder by Vancouver.
It's great that the Blues are utilizing Jaden Schwartz and Sobotka obviously on the penalty kill unit. Schwartz and Sobotka have a lot of good chemistry together.
And Schwartz is a tricky player. He leads the Blues in takeaways with 20 on the year. As Tyler Myers goes for a skate in his own zone. 35 to go in the power play. Myers hits the Trango on the dump in. Now it's played back to Myers, the former Rookie of the Year. Bouncing puck recovered by Stafford. And then it bounces on Myers, and that's a break for the Blues. And Pesek plays it back now for Myers. Long feed, Stafford hammers it wide. And then Pietrangelo, and he's run down in the corner by Leno. But it comes free to Lapierre, look out. And that goes high over the boards. And we get a whistle. Well, if you're looking for the perfect gift for a Blues fan this year, don't pass up on the Blues Holiday Pack. This pack includes 5 great games along with a Blues scarf for every 2 packs purchased. Visit stlouisblues.com/holiday pack for more details. Polak back to the Blues. Blues have killed it off, so both clubs are 0 for 1. And Polak in against Marcus Foligno. Now it goes free to Cole. Look out, he was jolted by Girgensons.
That Girgensons strong on his skates, isn't he? That Cole was braced for that, and
he's a big man.
He sure is.
Now it comes back to the line. Long shot by Cylinder. And now recovered by the former Sabre, Derek Roy. Roy to center for Stewart. Slides one through to Roy. And the forecheck, Roy and Morrow. And then Stewart comes in trying to get it free from the pack. Sabres do. And here's Foligno. Down the boards, trying to cut inside on Shattenkirk, who got enough of the body of the Sabre player to upend him.
Good support there by Stewart. I mean, he came back as the 3rd player back on a 1-on-2 originally, and he was helping out Shattenkirk nicely there.
Well, Jackman for Shattenkirk in this 1-1 game. 4 minutes left, first period. As Miller only gave it away there, handed it right to Backes. He had his defenseman in the corner, but he gave it to Backes on the wall. And the Blues captain sends it low for Oshie. In front, off of Steen, and then up high into the netting. And a stoppage in play. Blues and Sabres tied at 1.
I'm Pat Paris, back inside our Fox Sports Midwest studio in St. Louis. Blues and Sabres knotted at 1, 3:48 to go in that first period. Coming up on the St. Paul GM Country Intermission Report, Bernie visits with the lone goal scorer for the Blues, Brendan Morrow. We'll get Jamal Mayer's take on the first 20 minutes, and we'll look at the boys enjoying buffalo wings from the historic place that originated the delicacy. But now it's back to J.K. Panger and Bernie in Buffalo. Guys?
Hey, Pat, all right, Panger, be honest. How many wings did you devour?
A lot. And the funny thing is that both Jaden Schwartz and Vladdy Sobotka, they were like, no, I don't want the hot ones, nothing spicy. Well, sure enough, they scarfed back the hot ones after they had a couple of plain old ones, Bernie. They not like they ate a lot of them, but they love them. They thought they were great.
It's a fine place to go. I mean, especially when you know the history of the place. And
they started the wings in 1964, Bernie, almost 50 years ago.
Yeah, it's incredible, isn't it? And they're still, man, I've been there a number of times, and they're always consistently very, very good. So you're coming to Buffalo, you got to go to the Anchor Bar. You got to try it out.
Yep. Well, you put down about 42 of them.
That might be a little short.
Yeah, you can't eat, my friend.
Oh, I love those things.
And that goes over the glass on the far side. Again, the Sabres making big changes a week ago. Pat LaFontaine, the new president of hockey operations. And, of course, born in St. Louis, lived his first few years in St. Louis. And he'll take his time as he hires a new general manager.
Yeah, a lot of names being thrown about. Guys that are good assistants around the NHL. Guys like Jim Benning, Botterill, Rick Dudley, former Sabre. Paul Fenton's done a great job, and certainly in Nashville. Those are obviously names just being talked about. I think it's a grand opportunity for any general manager that comes in here. I think it'll be a quick turnaround. And they do have some good young players, but it starts by playing them in junior and in the minors.
And they have 7 picks in the first 3 rounds this year.
They're right. They've got 2 in the first, 3 in the second, 2 in the third.
And we get a whistle, and another penalty has been called here with 2.5 to go in the first.
Interference call, and it's going to be on Tyler Ennis, who scored the first goal of the game 10 seconds into the game.
His second minor of the night.
Yeah, defensive zone minor penalty, and Tyler Ennis gets called for, I thought it was interference at first, but he got stripped by Schwartz, and then he interferes with him there. You can see that he clearly takes away the skating lane of Schwartz after Ennis turned the puck over. 2 smaller players.
So the Blues on the power play for the second time in a 1-1 game. It is Roy with Backes and Oshie. Steen back of the line, a shot and a save by Miller.
Boy, he's good at controlling the rebounds to the side, isn't he? Makes it look effortless.
He didn't really see that one until the last second. It was a really quick shot by Steen, and I didn't even think he saw it until it was almost right on top of him.
Well, you had a great view right between the benches there.
Yeah, it's incredible.
Those 5 to their last 15 on the power play, getting number 1 in the league. Rolls back to Shattenkirk. To the slot to Roy. And a shot partially blocked. And then hammered up the boards by Stafford and all the way down.
Boy, would Derek Roy like to get on this score sheet here in this game in his return to Buffalo.
He's been very good, Panger. That line has been very good out here every time they've been out here.
Now Shattenkirk into Sobotka. He was clipped high by Myers. Knocked him down, no call. Now Sobotka gets it free. And then Stewart deals it back to Bouwmeester. And now Pietrangelo. Bouwmeester winds up a shot, and that goes wide. And the Sabres play it off the boards. And it did come to center ice. And a delayed offside. Picked up by Talinder. And he'll kill some time.
Talinder had some great success as a member here of the Buffalo Sabres before moving on to New Jersey.
Now Bouwmeester on the Blues power play. 30 seconds to go in that. A minute left in the period. Morrow is checked. And Steve Ott, his former teammate, will hammer it off the boards and down the ice.
Still lots of time to get set up here. You can get a good quality chance. 45 seconds left in the period.
And now the Blues up the ice. Here comes Schwartz with speed. In the slot, Oshie, 1 shot. Rebound. They score! Tarasenko! Got a big break there. The rebound came right to him, and he makes it 2-1 with a power play goal.
From the moment I said that, 10 seconds, click off the top. And you enter the zone like that, great cohesion and chemistry. And it starts with Jaden Schwartz with a good burst of speed as he takes the pass and gains the zone against McBain, number 4. Now he gains the zone here, makes a nice play to the middle of the ice. Oshie's shot is blocked, but Oshie stays with it. Our Plaza Tire Service replay shows the block shot. What a play by Oshie as he's falling down and a player on him. And no one on the Sabres sees Tarasenko. Tarasenko on the back door, left-hand shot in the strong side, and just rifles that home. After a great game against Washington, Tarasenko scores to make it 2-1.
And now Ott is in the box. And I cannot imagine what he did. Perhaps on the pull down of Oshie.
Yep.
And because it's on a power play, he does get the penalty.
Yep, so the back referee there, the haul down there, it looked like he just hit him, but maybe his stick got tangled between his legs, hauling him down. But nonetheless, what an effort by Oshie to stay with that and to have the presence of mind to push that over to Tarasenko.
Now Roy comes in, another power play. That shot wide by a foot. Tarasenko gets his 7th, and the Blues lead 2-1. 20 to go in the period. A hooking minor to Ott. As 6 players jam up in the corner. Mark Pysyk gets it free. And this will go the distance. And Backes goes for a skate. Time running down in the first period. On to center ice. Ehrhoff puts it over the boards with 0.2 of a second to go. So the Blues take a 2-1 lead on Tarasenko's 7th. Oshie and Schwartz get the assist on the goal.
Well, you can't just assume that time is going to wind down. The first part of that power play wasn't very good, but still with lots of time. And so you got to credit the Blues for staying with it. Communication on the bench, I'm sure, was real good down there, Bernie, but saying they got lots of time. And they made it happen in 10 seconds in the neutral zone.
Yeah, and you know it was the speed of Schwartz through the neutral zone that really set it all up. So it was a good play right from the start. You can see how the Sabres all had to back in because of the great speed of Schwartz down the left side. They all backed in over the line, was able to make the play to Oshie in the middle. So good work. You know what? You got 2 minutes on the power play. You can score with 1 second left or in the first second. It doesn't really matter which one. So a great power play goal for the Blues.
And Panger, you said it with 30 seconds left. They have time. And you encouraged them on that goal.
Yep. Well,
1.1 seconds left.
That's just an analyst from 200 feet away, John Kelly.
Well, I'm just saying you encouraged them. Whether they heard you or not, I don't know. And a second left in the period. Not much time for anything. Backes ahead. Oh, he got a shot on goal at the buzzer. Wow.
Good play. Staying with it. Well, what a great finish to the period after giving up a goal 10 seconds in. Blues come back with Brendan Morrow and Tarasenko to take a 2-1 lead.
And they outshoot the Sabres 14-6. So after a tough start, the Blues lead at 2-1 after 20 here in Buffalo. There it is, the world famous Anchor Bar here in Buffalo, New York, where my partner, my wingman, Darren Pang, had a plate full. Had a nice lunch with some of the boys yesterday here in Buffalo on the off day.
You know, I was thinking that we could hang around the rink and do something, or as Brad Strominger does it, who produces the pregame show, why don't you go out there and get them some wings? So they also had some bison burgers as well. They got that lean stuff, you know, that healthy stuff.
Right.
I just wanted to have a couple of cold beers and some wings, to be quite honest with you. So that's what I had.
Right, and the bison burgers are good for you, so it counterbalances the wings, which are very tasty, of course.
So I didn't have any bison burger. I just had the wings.
All right. Let's get back to business tonight. The Sabres had a goal 10 seconds in. And Hitch said one thing he really likes about this edition of the Blues is they grabbed the game back, and they did that in the first period.
Yeah, they do. And they didn't get rattled by it whatsoever. And, you know, anytime you see our BMO Harris check replay of the game, you see the forecheck, winning the board battles. There's Brendan Morrow, punched it back to the point to my chicken wing eating Roman Polak. And then a nice little pass there, certainly by Chris Stewart, a little backhander right there to Morrow. And Morrow, with that quick release, beats the goaltender Ryan Miller to the stick side. And so that wasn't enough. That was at 109. And then Tarasenko scored that late power play goal. Always the key, scoring late in the period. and the Blues will start off on the power play as a result of that late minor penalty to Ott on the goal.
Tarasenko had 6 shots the other night in Washington, a career high, and got rewarded late in the first. Blues hockey is brought to you by Bud Light. It's the sure sign of a good time. Here we go. Blues on the power play to begin the second period. Oshie gets it in front. Roy was cruising, but it bounced on him. And now rolls back to Kevin Shattenkirk. Shattenkirk walks the line to Oshie. Shattenkirk again, a shot. Knocked down in front, goes to Alexander Steen. And then gloved down by Backes. A minute to go in the Blues power play. Here's Roy. Out from behind the goal. Sets it up. And then back to Shattenkirk. And then Steen moves in. Steen from a tough angle. Shattenkirk to Roy. And he fakes it again. Back to Shattenkirk. A drive. Tipped by Backes wide. Now Backes to the line. And then Shattenkirk. Here's Oshie. Oh, he forgot something, but he gets it back. Diving play by Oshie, but he can't hold it in.
I know he's calm with the puck, but he was stick-handling around there, Bernie, and that puck just stayed where it was.
Yeah, you know, the ice is a little sticky right now. It's really not that dry, so we've got to be careful with the puck.
15 to go in the power play. Blues hammer it in. Sobotka gets there first, and a shot was partially blocked. And now Bouwmeester down low against Christian Ehrhoff. They were getting set to get back to full strength. Tarasenko, diving play to Pietrangelo. That wrist shot comes in front. Buffalo back at full strength. So the Blues now 1 for 3 on the power play. And Steve Ott in for Buffalo. Here's Ott to the front. Out of midair. And Corey Trotz could not knock it in. Number 78. And it's near the Blues goal. And now we do get the whistle as Halak has it.
And McCormick is just trying to drive Bouwmeester right into his own goaltender right there. As you see Trop there with a good shift, but this is a play there by Tarasenko. Great job on Trop on the near side, and then he gets tripped up. No call right there. It goes by the wayside, but a really good second effort by Tarasenko. And then there's this flippy little saucer pass by Ott over to Trop, driving down on the right side.
And now it is Lapierre against Leno on the faceoff. Buffalo won 55% of the draws in the first period. Blues lead here 2-1. And Lapierre wins it for Ian Cole. And then grabbed by Pollock. That hit the referee. Comes back to Pollock. And then a big collision back of the goal. And now Morrow grabs it for the Blues. Rink wide feed. And then worked in by Cole to Lapierre. And a save by Miller on the short side. He got the mid up there.
That's thanks for coming, wasn't it? I mean, you talk about give the glove side and take it away. Just like that. It's like Ryan Miller knew that Lapierre was going high glove. Most right-hand shots do, but, I mean, did he ever make that look easy? Great glove position there by Ryan Miller, the potential unrestricted free agent.
Who made his first ever NHL start on this day in 2002. Sabres win the faceoff. McBain. For Weber, up the middle, that's a giveaway, and picked up by Schwartz. And he tried to cut through a couple of Sabres, knocked down by Weber. Morrow follows up, Schwartz gets it again. And the Blues get set up. And Schwartz stops and starts on Hodgson. Trying to feed one in front, hit the back of the goal, Pollock there. He'll fire one back to the corner to Morrow. And then Morrow leaves it for Pollock. Now the Sabres take over, put high on the boards. It gets by Morrow, but Roman recovers very well for the Blues. Faced by Matt Moulson, and around now for Schwartz. That pass picked off, stays in the zone. And Moulson gets it, a drive at the back of the Blues goal.
Pretty severe angle right there. No problem, even if it was on net, I'm sure, for Halak.
Moulson had 2 goals in his first game with the Sabres.
And hasn't had
a trade from the Islanders.
And hasn't had one since, John.
None in his last 8 for Moulson. That puck is high, and it goes out of play. Well, Thursday night, Fox Sports Midwest brings you both the Blues game and the SLU basketball game. Tune in for the Blues Bruins starting at 5:30 on Fox Sports Midwest. And the Billikens host Oral Roberts on Fox Sports Midwest Plus at 7. Find channel numbers at foxsportsmidwest.com. 3:15 gone second period. Blues lead 2-1 here in Buffalo. There's to Linder. Gets it near the line. Now to center ice. Played in for Girgensons. And he goes for a skate back of the goal. Now Girgensons a shot. And it got through. And a save by Halak. Rebound is wobbling a bit. And Myers cannot hold it in.
Well, Girgensons sure has some nice wheels. He's got a couple of different levels of speed to his game, number 28.
Their first round pick, 14th overall in 2012 as Halak hangs on to this one.
And there's Girgensson there. And when you look at what the Sabres have done in sending down, you know, when you look at Rasmus Ristolainen, he sent down to the American Hockey League, and you look at Grigorenko going to go down there for conditioning. This one here staying, and I think he's going to stay for a long time.
Again, they had 4 teenagers in their lineup up until the other day. Now the Blues to center, and Tarasenko trying to go inside on Ehrhoff. And then Pietrangelo joins the rush. Gets it for Sobotka. That's chopped away. Now Tarasenko again. John Scott on him. Blues get it back to the line, but Pietrangelo had moved across. And it goes all the way down the ice.
And once again, the Blues get Sobotka's line up against the fourth line of Buffalo. And it's an area that they can expose them.
And now Sobotka cuts into the net. And he's bumped right into the goaltender, and Miller's hurt. I think the Sabre player bumped Sobotka into the net.
And Sobotka's hurt as well. The Sabre players are all looking at it. But, I mean, with Sobotka driving hard to the net, Ott just gave him a pretty good shove, it looked like, anyway. And that's a dangerous play. I mean, Sobotka now is protecting the puck. Keep your eye on Ott. There's nothing that Sobotka can do here. Not one thing whatsoever. I'm shocked that Ott does this. Keep your eye on 9. I mean, where on earth is that player going to go? He's cutting in, protecting the puck, left-hand shot on his backhand. And the Sabre players are probably looking around saying, no, we got to get that Sobotka. He just drilled our goalie. And then they look at the replay and say, Steve Ott, you drilled him into our goalie.
Yeah, I think Ott thought he had better position. I think he thought he was going to knock Sobotka off the puck with the shoulder. Well, that's a train coming. Sobotka's way too hard to knock off the puck. He's way too, his body, or center of gravity is so low, Panga, there's no way that you're going to knock him into the corner from there.
And Miller hit the back of the goalpost with his back. And it appears to be all right.
There's probably a big chunk of ice missing as a result of, you know, it could be the heel of the skate of the goaltender Ryan Miller. Could have been, you know, could have been Ott, could have been Sobotka, but obviously the linesmen are replacing a big chunk here. Keep your eye on the skate of Sobotka there. Oh boy, his left skate kind of extends right there. He's lucky he didn't pull a hamstring or something like that as well in going in. That's an awkward play.
That could have been a cross-check, too, as well, on Ott.
No question. Yeah, no question at all, Bernie.
And off the face-off, the Sabres pick it up, and here's Ennis now for Steve Ott. And then it's Ian Cole back to the Blues. Puck comes free. McBain a shot, handled by Halak. And then Weber sweeps one to the far side. There goes Ian Cole after it. Reverses down to Pollock. That comes up the boards and tipped away by Stewart. Shots in the game, 15-8 for the Blues, who lead 2-1. Steve Ott lost it. Now Roy gets it back. And Ian Cole with some time. The pass too far for Pollock. And the Sabres have possession. Pollock swats it back down. And that will be an icing call against the Blues.
Well, the Blues and the Sabres obviously didn't play at all last year with the lockout and the West versus West, East versus East only. But look at the last 14 games, John Kelly. 12-2 are the win advantage. The goals, 4 goals against, overwhelming. Both teams with 8 power play goals. But obviously the Blues have dominated.
Last game they played against Buffalo was in St. Louis on January 21st, 2012. The Blues won 4-2, and Backus had 2 goals and 2 assists in that game. As Stewart muscles the puck to center ice. Now Stafford for Linder. Hodgson drops it. Molson a shot, and that goes wide. And now Hodgson has it again. Squeezed off the puck by Backus. and he'll backhand it the distance. And this will be, no, it won't. They wave it off for whatever reason. I mean, Backes just shot that down the ice.
It was tipped, Johnny.
Oh, was it?
Yeah,
Okay.
it was tipped. Yeah, the linesman called it right away that it was tipped when it came from behind the net there.
See, that's why you are down there and I'm up here. You can see that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I can see what the linesmen are saying. I didn't see the tip either, but I saw the...
Here's Oshie to the front. And a big collision, and he can't get it in on goal. And Molson up the boards. Olmeister trying to hold it in. He does for Steen. He'll put it wide off the glass. Now Backes there. Rolls one for Oshie. And then Backes a shot. Partially blocked by Telinder. And the Sabres with it, and they come to center ice. It's Drew Stafford, who played with Oshie at North Dakota. Long pass to center. And the aforementioned Oshie gets a piece of that. The Army came crashing down low, but the Sabres have it in Pesek. Number 3 to center. Big hit there by Reeves. That was on Girgensson. And now Girgenson's back of the goal, can't center it. Lapierre comes ahead for the Blues, now for Payarvi. And he'll chop it in.
I'm sure Ken Hitchcock wants to get this fourth line rotating. They only played about 2 minutes and 20 seconds of the first period.
Now Pesek chased by Payarvi. Good forecheck, forcing that turnover. And then Reeves wraps up his man. Ehrhoff a feet ahead. Now for Marcus Foligno. His brother plays with Buffalo, or with Columbus rather. Mick, the son again of Mike Foligno. As Ehrhoff sets up his partner, McBain.
One of Brian Elliott's best friends. They were together in Ottawa for a number of years.
Now Shattenkirk stops back in the Blues goal for Tarasenko. Tarasenko has the Blues up 2-1. His goal came late in the first after Morrow tied it. Now Shattenkirk under some pressure from behind. Look out, John Scott ran him. Sabres center it. Now back for Weber. Across for McBain. And a shot was well wide. Comes to Tarasenko. Good play off the boards. And that hit the linesman, or Schwartz might have been away on right wing.
Now, John Scott just got away with one there in front of the net. He absolutely cross-checked Barrett Jackman right in the back, knocking him down. The referee's about 15 feet from him, doesn't make the call.
And now it's Scott in there. He's 6'8". Same height as Tyler Myers. 2 6'8" guys on one team. Billy Leno back. Here is Myers. Slowed up by Schwartz, but then fed down low by Leno. Now Roy trying to get it in front. Good job by Jackman to close the gap on him. And then finally dug away by Sobotka. And his pass, nice speed to center. Tarasenko, but he was stripped by Telinder. Blues trying to make a change. Leno back in. Paranis. He darts wide. Hacked a bit by Shattenkirk. To Myers, a shot on goal and a save by Halak. And then we get Roy pushing in front with Jackman. Sabres coming on a bit. Down by 1 in the second.
Well, Barrett Jackman had his hands full there with that 6'8" John Scott in front. It was a long shift for the veteran Jackman. And then right after that, Scott goes for a change, and then he and Ott extends himself with a cross-check right to the chest there after Jackman gave him just a little shove from behind. Familiarity there with Ott, the former Dallas Star and teammate, as you mentioned before, John, of Brendan Morrow. And he was in on it with that push with Sobotka into his own goal.
And again, Barrett Jackman on the fence tonight. Now the Blues come in. A shot by Stewart right on goal and a save by Miller. And Stewart got a lot on that. Stewart battling the flu tonight. Sabres get it. Here comes Ennis. Now in for Ott. He pulls up. Back on the line, Ehrhoff, a blast, and a save by Halak, who is at the top of the goal crease and makes a good save.
Yeah, I love seeing Yaroslav Halak right there. Right in that position, right there. And here's an odd, it ends up being an even man, but a good drop pass there to the weak side D, and he's able to fire it home. And this is a good exit out of the zone. Cole banks it off the glass, and then a nice cutback move here by Stewart, trying to change the angle a little bit, and good save right there by the goaltender, Miller. Tough to beat Miller down low inside the post with the legs that he has. He got terrific movement down low, taking away the lower part.
And now the Blues move in, but that's offside as Pietrangelo is hit after the whistle. And he does some pushing with the Sabre player Weber.
You know, Panger, I like what you said about the position of Yarrow because I think Halak really to start this game was a little shaky. I think that the more shots he's seen, I think he's starting to find a little more comfort. But certainly that was a much better position there. Just lets the puck hit him.
Yeah, and Pietrangelo does have some family and friends here from King City, Ontario, which is a couple of hours north of here, just north of Toronto. They played around for Steen. Nice pass, and now Pietrangelo to center ice. In for Oshie, 4-on-3 here. Oshie to Pietrangelo, and then a shot. Pinballs around in front. Steen comes in. Steen to drive, and a stick saved by Miller. And then for Oshie again. To Backes. And he's wrapped up by Weber. On to Oshie. Hooks it back to the goal. And then it comes all the way around. And the Sabres, Molson will ice it. And we get a whistle.
Well, the chemistry and cohesion of this top line for the Blues, and one of the best lines in the NHL, led by Alexander Steen, Backes, and Oshie. Oshie's the distributor. Oshie's the guy that sees the ice and shakes and bakes a little bit. This one here, a good one by Steen, trying to beat Miller on the short side. And then there's a little give and go there by Oshie, but the guy that wins a lot of those board battles is the captain, David Backes. So difficult to get him off the puck.
Blues win the face-off on a shot by Shattenkirk. Is handled by Miller. And the Sabres tip one to center ice. Now Hudson trying to go around Shattenkirk. He can't. Blues have it. Here they come. Schwartz comes in. Schwartz a shot and a glove saved by Miller. And it goes in the netting. Jaden Schwartz trying to pick that top corner. Miller just got a piece of it.
Some big hits in this game. You'd expect that with a Ted Nolan and Ken Hitchcock coached clubs. I think you can throw the record of the Buffalo Sabres out the window after they made the moves and fired Ron Rolston. But our Timberland throw hard hits of the game here. Oop, boy. Big one there on Cole. Behind the net. Big one in the neutral zone. Ryan Reeves knocks down Girgensson right there. You know there's going to be a certain amount of pride and compete in the Buffalo Sabres. What is the record they have to be to get to 85 points? 74 points in the remaining 60 games gets them to 85 points.
Penalty coming up here in the Blues. And a wrist shot taken there by Telinder and a save. And Tarasenko will head off.
Tarasenko doesn't like the call here. He just hits his man. And you know what? They're obviously thinking that Tarasenko, did he fire a leg in there? And that's what knocked Tyler Myers off guard, or is Tyler Myers was 6'8", and it looked to me like that was a pretty strong play.
They call it a boarding minor.
That's wow.
Searching.
Is it ever?
Blues win the face-off.
That's you know what? That's just a good hit as far as I'm concerned.
Sabres go for one tonight. Good forecheck by Steen as he creates some havoc. And now the Sabres, McBain can't get by Backes. Sabres power play 22nd in the league at 15.4%. Last year they were second worst. Now Hodgson wanders in. To the line for Ehrhoff. And then back to Hodgson again. Fakes a little slap pass now intended for McBain. And then Oshie back there for the Blues. They'll feed one behind the goal. Pietrangelo in a race against Hodgson. And then another Sabre comes in. That's Ennis. Puck away from the pack. And then hammered down the ice by Lapierre. And a minute to go in the Sabres power play. Christian Ehrhoff. Moves back in. Now it comes to Hodgson. Who's nudged by Polak. Hodgson again. His pass blocked. Polak with it in front of his own goal to Sobotka. And that's a good play.
Yeah, really good play. Protecting the house right in front of Jaro Halak with the two defensemen being aggressive along the boards.
Pesek ahead for Drew Stafford. And the hard around comes to Billy Leno. Leno gets set up. Now back to Myers. Myers for Pesek. Shot tipped just wide by Steve Ott. Leno again feeds Myers. On the Sabre power play. Leno with it, a drive. Saved by Halak. Oh, chance and a great pass save. And no goal, they say. What a save there by Halak. Stafford lost it. Stolen by Sabotka. He'll scoop it away.
Great battle in front of the net with Steve Ott right on the blue paint, right on the line. Yaroslav Halak didn't get back down. And he didn't get pushed back to his own goal line. He stayed out there, was aggressive.
Joseph killed it off, tipped in front. Leno got a piece of that one. That goes wide. Sabres 0 for 2 with 2 shots. And man, did Halak make a big pad save.
That right pad, he just got that out there. It looked like Gumby.
Now Bouwmeester for Tarasenko out of the box. Buddy Tarasenko, a shot. Blocked at the Sabre defense. And then Ott chops one to center ice. Pietrangelo trying to step up. And he does to break it up. But then hammered around by Tillender. And Halak goes to play this one. Puts it high on the glass. Comes up the wall. Tarasenko can't get it out. And now Foligno for Buffalo. Turns. Weak shot blocked in front by Bouwmeester. And then Pesek winds it around the board. 6.5 to play in the second period. We've had no goals in this period. Morrow and Tarasenko for the Blues. Ennis scored for Buffalo 10 seconds in, and this goes out of play.
Well, some heavy congestion in front of the net on the Buffalo Sabres power play. Here's number 9. There's Ott there. The first play, Yarrow still stays on top. And there's the save with the right pad there. He just reaches out, sprawls out, and then he thinks he's got it. And clearly does not cross the goal line, just underneath him, behind him. But again, the key is to stay on top of your crease as much as possible.
Sabres win the faceoff, and a high shot by Pesek. That's knocked down in front. Well, John Scott there. Trying to get the puck in front, knocked away from him by Derek Roy. And then Stewart throws it up the big boards. And then Roy snaps it on to Jackman. That's tipped along by Stewart. Sabres have had a bit of an edge in the play the last 4 or 5 minutes. Now Stewart in front. Shot. They score! Brendan Morrow again! And Morrow gives the Blues a 3-1 lead after a great forecheck.
Wonderful job down low. A soft little chip by Chris Stewart. He gets a little bit of a support down below by Derek Roy. And then the puck gets passed out right in the slot. So some miscommunication by McCormick, the fourth-line centerman on the Buffalo Sabres. He loses control behind the net. And Brendan Moore with that quick snapshot. There's McCormick. He's in position. And Roy gets his skate on it. He'll get an assist. Stewart plays it right out to number 10, Brendan Morrow, and he just snaps his high under the bar and in the net. Man, there's that grin there from that wily veteran, Brendan Morrow. What a shot.
His first 2-goal game as a Blue. And the Blues take a 3-1 lead. The goal at 14:09. And now Myers for Buffalo. Halak goes to play this one, puts it on the glass. And now Cole up for Payarby. Now Payarby has to wait. He does. Play is onside. And then down low for LaPierre. And he is tied up. Sabres come away with it. Long pass. Steve Ott. And he is pushed off the puck by Polak.
Yeah, he was trying to get inside position on Polak, and he didn't expect the big fella to push him like that. And then Ott goes right back after Roman Polak.
Now it is Ryan Reeves. He gets the puck to the corner. Aaron, I thought the Sabres were coming on with a little bit of a push there, but then the Blues get it down the ice, and one good forecheck results in a goal. As Stewart gets the assist in the goal by Morrow. And it's 3-1.
Well, it starts with that power play. They had some good tenacity in front, and just keep that save from Jaro Halak with that right pad. I mean, a 2-2 game or a 3-1 game, that is a significant big save.
Stafford a pass, and at the line, diving play by Weber. And that shot is kicked away by Pietrangelo. And now Backes on for Oshie. Steen does a good job to stay onside. Here's Oshie in front. To Steen, a shot! And Miller got over and made a great save there after a brilliant feed by Oshie. Sabres come to center ice. Now it's Molson in, winds up, fires it, and Pietrangelo got a stick on that. That went wide. And it's funneled up the boards now for Steen. To Sabotka, off his stick. Weber turns, plays one to center. And Hodgson at the line. Sabres move in 3-on-2. Now to Hodgson. Try to center one. Molson gets it off the back of the goal. With 3:35 to play in the period. And a battle down low. Sabre Claire Hodgson knocks Shattenkirk down, but the Blues get it. And Schwartz gets the legs moving to center ice. In with Tarasenko. Sabotka comes into the open corner, trying to grab the puck. And then Weber has two Blues around him. Both Sabotka and Tarasenko. And now Schwartz is over there. Back to Shattenkirk for Jackman. Takes it now to the front. Comes around to Sabotka. Long wrist shot. That hit a shin pad. And Sabotka will try another play. And he goes to the corner. Tarasenko knocks it down. This line was fabulous the other night in Washington. 16 shots total in that game for this trio. Jackman pinches in. But there's Hodgson to roll it all the way down, and the Blues could have touched it, so no icing.
Yeah, because the two defensemen jumped onto the ice, they went by the puck. And excuse me, one of them was Stewart, the other one was Roman Polak. It's a good non-call by the linesman.
Now Polak to center, tipped along by Cole. Stewart gets a piece of that. He goes after it against Ehrhoff. Stewart played a strong game for the Blues. 2 assists as he battles the flu. So maybe Bernie's onto something. If you get the flu, you're lighter. If you're faster. Good point, 24.
I need to get the flu.
Now Tyler Myers with 2 minutes left here in the period. Broken up at center ice by Steen. To Oshie. Slowed up. And the Sabres recaptured Girgensons at his own line. And Girgensons will lob it in. And he goes off on a change. And then played around to Polak. Now Backes trying to hit Cole at center ice. That was off his stick. And the Sabres in control with Jamie McBain. McBain, number 4, played with Brian Elliott in Wisconsin. Former Badgers. Then a shot up high by Steen. Hit the glass. And that comes down. Steered around on the boards and back to center in a foot race here. Ennis and Pietrangelo. And Ennis goes down. Now Leno trying to come in. And Leno gets the puck to the line. Kalinder a shot, blocked in front, and a good job there by Bouwmeester with his long reach to break it up.
That Ennis has been a good player in this game. He's got some great hockey sense. And there are some little similarities there between the way he and Schwartz can get around the ice.
And then Bouwmeester puts it wide on the short side. And then Pietrangelo had it bounce over his stick, and here comes Ennis, who was not a big man at 5'9".
No, at one point, these Buffalo Sabres had a lot of little players, crafty little players. Nathan Gerby, Derek Roy, Ennis as well.
And a hit by Lafayette. Turns it over. It comes in front. Pesek gets it near the line, not out. And now it rolls back to the goal. Ryan Reeves crashes in there, but Hodgson has it for the Sabres. To Molson in the final 25 seconds in the second period. And the Blues leading 3-1. Back to the goal, grabbed by Shattenkirk. Quickly up for Payarvi. In his second game back after missing a couple of weeks with an upper body injury. Was originally hurt in Nashville late October. Now the Sabres Ehrhoff from center, handled by Halak. And that should just about do it as far as the second period is concerned. And Morrow gets the only goal in that period.
Yeah, late in the period, the Blues hung around there. They got some good goaltending from Halak. A little bit of pressure there late where he makes that great right pad save. And because of that, Brendan Morrow and the Blues have a lead.
3-1 after 2 at Buffalo. Man, beautiful Buffalo, New York. Temperature was in the 40s today. Not so bad. Usually there's a lot of snow around these parts of western New York.
Ever taken that transit?
No, I have not.
I have. It's pretty simple. It goes right down through downtown. When this addition's being done by Terry Pagula, their owner, it's going to be phenomenal. 2 ice sheets adjoined to this. An original kind of Tim Hortons. Going to be a mecca of all Tim Hortons. And then they've got a high-end hotel. It's going to be something else.
Yeah, nice area down here. And the train is free. You like that.
I
Anyways,
like that. It's usually the play-by-play guys that are a little...
back to business.
Okay.
Oh, not
There it
business.
is.
Yes, here it is.
There it
Yes.
is. You look at how nice that's going to be. The hotel on top. That's going to be on the 6th floor. And it's going to be spectacular. It's going to open in September of next year. Not all of it, but the majority of it.
All right, here's the business we wanted to get to.
Well, why wouldn't we look at our Chamberlain save of the game? It's a 2-1 hockey game. Jaro Halak makes not one, but he makes two. Watch the gem here with the right pad. There. Doesn't give up on it. Top of his crease. Gets some protection. But we open up the Chamberlain garage door because this is what happens at the other end. After that save, this was the goal. Stewart and Roy down low. The veteran Brendan Morrow up high. And what a snipe that was, under the bar and in. So a real big save at one end. Instead of it being a 2-2 game, it becomes a 3-1 hockey game.
And by the way, Roy did not get an assist on that goal. So we'll see if they do make a change on that as Tarasenko centers it underway here in the third period.
He certainly should get one, Johnny. He
Absolutely.
actually kicked it with his skate right to Stewart.
And now it's Tarasenko trying to duck under 6'8" Tyler Myers. And then Talinder leaves it for Myers. Up for Steve Ott. And that's tipped down the ice. And for the record, you are not cheap. You are a very generous man. I would just try to get a little levity to the broadcast.
Well, when we've got the Hall of Famer with us, too, you know, we know that that wallet's full. Absolutely. And he's always firing it out there for us, too. Burton?
Hey, I've been on that free train, too. I'm not ashamed to say it. It's a good thing.
I just said it was free.
And it's a good thing, Johnny, for all the people coming downtown here, the fans parking further away from the building, especially with all this construction. I think it's a great addition to have that big train there.
Now the Sabres to center ice. Leno into Myers, a shot. Trying to pick the far corner. Missed by about 7 inches, and it goes off the glass and out of play.
Well, from my vantage point, Myers looks like he sees high to the blocker's side. And Jaro starts off covering the short side after Leno makes the pass. So the far side was open, but then Jaro pushes himself over to the right side. And so maybe he was trying to lure Tyler Myers into that area, but Myers, he missed that by a bunch.
I mentioned Myers won the Calder in 2010 at 48 points. This year, only 5 points in 22 games. Sabres get it back on the line. Long shot by Pesek. That was well wide. Now Ehrhoff puts it back on goal for Stafford. He is worked over by Pietrangelo. And then smacked up the boards by Backes, not out. Molson gets it. A shot bounces on goal. And a save by Halak. And Ehrhoff walks back. Then a shot got through. Blocker saved by Halak. Early pressure from the Sabres top line. Hodgson to Molson. Can't get to the front. And now Bouwmeester. His pass hit a stick, goes to Pietrangelo. And the Blues slow the pace here.
Matt Molson grew up as a heck of a lacrosse player. A lot of guys in Ontario, Western Canada play box lacrosse, indoor lacrosse. He has some good hands. He tried that little wraparound and rolled off his stick.
And that is an offside as it did come to center ice. And Cole put it back inside. Well, the Blues come back to Scott Trade this Saturday to take on Tyler Seguin, Jamie Benn, and the Dallas Stars. And great lower bowl seats are still available for as low as $75. Visit stlouisblues.com and get your tickets today.
And I was wrong. When I talked to Brendan Morrow after the first period, I thought that the Blues were playing Dallas this Saturday. And he said something about December. No, he's going to get to play against his mates for the first time since he was traded when that's coming up this Saturday.
That's going to be a big game. They've got some quick, speedy players. They've got a great underrated goalie in Kari Lehtinen. Should be a beauty.
And of course, that's Hitch's former club. They won the cup in this building back in '99 on the goal by number 16. Here's Cole, and a pass down low for Morrow. Morrow has scored twice tonight for the Blues. Tarasenko has the other goal. And now Derek Roy. Morrow chips it along the end boards. Stewart in a battle there against Weber. And then Morrow comes over there.
That was one of the more courageous efforts I've seen by an individual in Brett Hull that whole playoff with that bad knee that he had. And then to score the game-winning goal in Game 6 here.
And a drive by Cole. Now a goal saved by Miller. And to this day, the Sabres say it was not in. No goal, but it was a goal.
It's a hockey play. I beg to argue that whole thing. I think that was a good hockey play.
I'm just saying what the Sabres say. I agree with you. That's punched in by the Blues, and it is onside. As Lapierre gets it in there. Reeves on the boards. And you can hear the linesmen say, move it. As they get it from under the skates of Payarvi, a shot wide by Shattenkirk. That rattles around, held in by Jackman.
Shattenkirk has been up a lot against John Scott. Scott, the left winger, and of course the right D. They're going to face each other a lot. And boy, that Shattenkirk has had to reverse hit and try to protect himself from any hits from Scott in this game. Not easy to do, I'm sure.
Here come the Sabres.
The advantage is that Scott doesn't have any speed to his game, so he can't get going. But still, when he lays a body on him, I'm sure it's still going to hurt.
Now Ehrhoff spins at the right point. Now picked up by Ott. At the line, long shot blocked. Shattenkirk got his stick down, and now Tarasenko maneuvers back to center. Great pass, and Saboka's in on the wing. Here he comes, right in a shot. He missed wide on the short side.
Boy, did Pysyk ever do a good job of getting over there.
Nonetheless, he had a great chance.
Yeah.
And the puck is at the line, now to center ice. Grabbed by Bouwmeester. Down the boards for Tarasenko. And from the corner, a shot on goal and a pad save by Miller. And then Pietrangelo. Chipped away by the Sabres. And now Backes just onto the ice, and he gets it for the Blues. 4.5 gone by, third period. Backes for Oshie. Pulls up a shot into the breadbasket of Miller. And no further play.
Well, nice little pass there by Tarasenko. And you have to wonder, Bernie, if the bench wasn't yelling at him to save far side, because the weak side of the ice is wide open, and Saboka here just takes a split second too long to corral that. And Pysyk gets his stick on there, and he just knocks it out of the way on the short side, just enough.
Now the Blues win a faceoff. Pietrangelo had it blocked. And now Molson into the zone for McBain. Drops it off to Stafford. A shot. Hits something, goes into the netting. And they'll bring the face-off to center, so it didn't hit anything. It just went out of play.
You know, on that prior play that you were talking about, no, the bench wasn't yelling at all. That's the vision of Tarasenko. You know, he could see out of the corner of his eye that Sabotka was wide open on the far side. He made a nice backhand pass, so just good heads-up hockey by the young man Tarasenko.
Now it's Backes, Steen, and Oshie for the Blues. Stafford comes in for the Sabres. Swings wide on Shattenkirk in front of Molson. And he lost the handle with a wide open net. And Steen charges back. Here's Steen, fakes the shot. And all the way around now to Jackman, right in a drive. That was blocked at the defense. And a good hold in now by Jackman. Sabres tipped one off the boards to center, as both clubs try to make changes on the fly.
That was Matt Molson that missed the open net on one end, but he came back and blocked that last shot by Jackman in the defensive zone.
Of course, Molson was traded for Thomas Vanek from the Islanders. Both players will be unrestricted free agents. Now Cole into Morrow. And he was slowed up. Myers got over there, and now it bounces back for Talinder. Here comes Myers again. Into the skates of Roy and then into the zone, but it's offside.
Well, Matt Molson, the left-hand shot, he's not exactly the quickest skater or the most explosive, but boy, does he have some great hockey sense. Always gets to the right areas, and that one just rolls off the end of his blade. So he had the 2 goals in his very first game as a member of the Buffalo Sabres, and then hasn't scored since in 8, as we mentioned before. An original LA King player. And Jonathan Quick married twin sisters when they were both in Manchester together.
Sabres also get a first-rounder in that deal. Now it's back. Pass, and Payarvi blasted in! Payarvi, his first goal for the Blues! And it's 4-1 with a rocket.
What a shot as a left-hand shot. Not much room there, going to the stick side. And it is a good one. Morrow has beat the goaltender Ryan Miller to the stick side, and this one here from a Plaza Tire Service replay, a blast. One player's going down trying to block it. I think that might have been Trop, and then we see that's mishandled there and just a blast. So maybe there's a little bit of a double screen there, but good for Magnus Payarvi. Magnum P.I. gets on the board.
His first goal with the Blues, first goal since he scored with Edmonton last year against Minnesota on April 16th. His first in 11 regular season games back to last year.
Well, it's been important to give young Magnus Pärvi some confidence and return into the lineup. You want to elevate your play, get it to where it was before you got hurt, but that's always easier said than done. No matter how you practice or get yourself ready, getting back into game situations isn't easy.
First point is a Blue. That shot on goal. Patted away by Halak.
Yeah, tipped in front, too. That was a quick save.
So it's 4-1 for the Blues. The goal at 6:10. Sabotka gloves it down. Hit by Tyler Ennis. And it comes up the boards and back to neutral zone. As McBain feeds it ahead. Swatted by the Blues, but not out. Kept in by Ott. And now Ian Cole there for St. Louis. Ennis trying to keep it in. And then Weber kicks it away from the pack. Blues get it, and here they come 2-on-1. Backes and Steen. As Backes comes in to Steen. Blocked it. Oshie comes in. He can't get a shot. It's still loose. And loose in front of Miller, and the Sabres get a break there as the Blues had an odd man rush.
That was Tyler Ennis that broke up the play from behind. It looked like good defensive play there. It looked like the Blues had an empty netter on the back door kind of play.
Now Jackman, Steen was going off on a change. And to Linder, number 20. Off the skates of Backes. And he goes off. And now it goes over the boards and then back into play with 12:25 left in the third. Magnus Pärvi has made it 4-1. Well, the Blues with 4 tonight. And they have been a prolific scoring team this year. At least 2 goals in every game but one. The last game, that loss in Washington. The last goal by Pärvi at 6:10. And now the Blues come in again. Here comes Steen. And he can't dangle around Myers. Here come the Sabres. They turn it over. Reeves and Bouwmeester get the assist on that last goal. And now Bouwmeester in there. A backhander block. Comes up the far side. Bouncing puck kept in by Roy. And that shot trickles to the corner. And now grabbed by Steen off his stick. Well, Hitchcock said a few games ago, Darren, that the Blues need to get some scoring from their other lines other than the top unit. And they have tonight. As good as that Backes trio has been, they can't carry the team forever.
Well, there was only one way that the Blues were coming back in that game in Washington, and it was led by the Sabotka line. Now, they didn't come back, but they played a hard game. They're getting it now from the Stewart-Morrow line. And Derek Roy at center, and certainly Roy should have an assist in this game, but they haven't officially credited him with one.
That was on Morrow's second goal. Now the Sabres. Ennis puts it in front. And then Stewart turns away from Girgensons. And the Blues throw it down the far boards. Under 11 to play, third period. Blues wrap up this road trip Thursday in Boston. Tries to settle one back on the goal, he can't. Now Pollock for Reeves off the boards. And here's a 3-on-2. Lapierre charges in. Lapierre pulls up. And then a shot and a save by Miller.
Good play there by Lapierre, using some good hockey sense, and he fires it from the outside. Now, before that, we've talked an awful lot about Teddy Nolan being the head coach, but Teddy Nolan's the first to say, hey, I need a guy that's a tactician, and Joe Sacco, the former head coach of Colorado, is his guy. And you can see the confidence that Sacco has, the former head coach, going over some things. There was a commercial break, so they were able to huddle in there to the right of Bernie Federko, and you can see the confidence there of Joe just explaining something to Teddy. But Teddy's that emotional, gets a lot out of his guys, but you know, that technical part of it, sometimes it's better when your assistants have all that and you can just be the head coach.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see what happens, into next year. I mean, Teddy Nolan has inherited everybody here as his assistant, so we'll have to see if he's going to make some changes next year.
And if he is the head coach, he's the interim coach.
Yeah, you're right. Good point. Good point, guys.
Here's Lapierre around the Buffalo goal. Swings it in front. Now back on the line. It's Pollock, a drive and a save. But Pollock let it fly. He's hot of late. 3 goals on the year for Pollock. His career high is 4. And Leno picked his way to center ice. The former Red Wing now to Ott. Ott waits to Myers. He moves in, right in, and a save by Halak, and the rebound is shot wide. That was Ott on the rebound. And then Myers again. Bit of skate goes to Ott. And he waits. That comes in front. Of course, Ott was traded for Derek Roy a couple of years ago. Now it's Reeves to center ice. And he'll get it all the way down the ice.
And he took his number.
Now Hodgson to center ice. Bounces, Jackman kicks it. Feeds it ahead to Tarasenko. Tip to the line. And the Sabres break it up. And now scooped into the blue zone. Jackson the first man back. Knocked away. Stafford now to Hodgson. It goes back to the corner. Then Stafford, who is stood up by Jackman. Molson, flat-footed in the slot. Can't get much on it. It goes wide. And now fired off the boards by Shattenkirk out of the zone. Now Molson turns, plays it back in. Here's Hodgson, a pass back, tipped. Then a drive by the point man Pesset. That was off a leg, and the Blues head the other way. And Vladdy Tarasenko. His shot, high, hits the glass. And then Tarasenko laid under chip, tips one back of the goal, and he goes off on a change. Shots in the game, 29-19 for the Blues. Blues about shot their last 8 opponents entering tonight. Pietrangelo in the corner. Now Foligno trying to pitchfork it in front. Kept in by McBain. And then back to the corner she goes. And then Backes steers it around. Now McBain gets it. Long shot well wide. And now it's on the tape of Alexander Steen. In is Pietrangelo. Wrist shot and a glove save as Miller has it. 7:50 left in the third, and the Blues lead it 4-1.
Time now for our Charter high-speed shots, and look at a nice little backhand pass there by Stewart, right on the tape to his left winger, Brendan Morrow. McCormick coughs this one up. Derek Roy clearly uses his skate to push it to Stewart. Stewart fires it back to Morrow, and Morrow snaps it by. At 5-on-5, the Blues have outshot the opposition prior to this game by 101 shots, outscoring the opposition 45-28 at 5-on-5. So as good as the power play has been, the 5-on-5 play has been as dominant.
And that's what you need as the season goes along, especially into the playoffs, when it seems you get fewer power plays.
And everybody's willing to do a little bit more. Goalies are always sharper. That's their time of year. So you can't rely on a power play. You're right in those situations.
Now Flynn a pass. Here's McBain in for the left point. And then Flynn gets it again. Ryan Flynn way high. He's eyed by Morrow. Now McBain a centering pass at the line. Grabbed by the Blues, and Roy sends it out. 7:15 to go third period. And the Blues with a 4-1 lead. The Blues have not lost 2 straight this year in regulation. Long shot from the slot blocked by Cole. Now Foligno a drive. On goal, easy save there for Halak. And then worked up the boards by Cole. The Blues won this winless streak this year was 2 games. They lost 2 games in a row to the Jets and Canucks, 1 in a shootout, 1 in overtime. So they got points in those 2. As the puck is lobbed to center ice, Tarasenko in there against Talinder. He stole it. Now Tarasenko in front, but the Sabres blocked the pass. And then Tarasenko fights off Ennis's check. Trickles back to the line, Shattenkirk. Good play over to Jackman. Here's Jackman a drive and a pad save. Rebound Tarasenko. He's worked over by Talinder. And the puck shot high, and that's off a Sabre to center ice. And then steered back in by Shattenkirk. Out from behind his own goal, Christian Ehrhoff. Sabres get to center ice. That dump in hit Pietrangelo. And now the Blues and Lapierre into the zone. He gets a shot away, and that was off a shin pad in the slot. Bruce Stafford back for Buffalo, 3-on-2 here. From the board, the shot into the midsection of Halak. And he melts it down. 5:47 to go in the third. The Blues up by 3.
Lapierre is a noted terrific face-off guy, but he's got good hockey sense and good speed. And here, he probably has a chance to distribute that to Payarvi early. Now he's in a bit of a hole right here. It gets blocked, but watch 40 in the white now. Now he's got to get on his horse. He's coughed it up. It's an odd man break. He nullifies the odd man break by going right to the net, right to his man, which is the defenseman, McBain. So although he'd want a different decision on the first play he makes, he identifies it and doesn't stop moving his feet, getting back.
When Hitch talks about a 200-foot game, that's exactly what he's talking about. Now Hodgson gets it for Buffalo. Right in front. Molson a shot. Knocked away by Halak. Now back to the goal. Wrap around by Stafford. And a save again by the Slovakian goaltender. As the Sabres had a couple of good chances. Get your big 5-game pack for SLU Billiken basketball. See 5 Great Bills games, including recent Final Four teams, VCU and Wichita State, for only $99. You can buy online at SLUBillikens.com or call 314-977-4SLU. Sabres win the faceoff, and a quick shot by Flynn is off a stick and out of play with 5:24 left in regulation time.
Jurgensen does a nice job winning that face-off there. The left-hand shot had to really battle down low. Does so against Sabotka. Sabotka comes into this game at 66% on the face-off dot, but Jurgensen does a nice job against him.
And that is number 1 in the entire NHL.
Why wouldn't it be?
Roy is tossed.
Now he's got chicken wings in his system, too, so it's going to be better. I'm like, you have chickens in the Czech Republic. How come you don't have good wings there? Says it must be the sauce.
He's going to start a franchise there.
He said that. I said, just go buy the sauce in the back room.
Sabotka's wings. Now McBain. For Flynn. That's not a very creative name. We'll have to come up with something better than that.
I was hoping so.
And this is offside, and now we have Stewart involved with a couple of Sabres, including Foligno.
We'll see what the referee's heading to here. Cowell's talking to Stewart. Don't believe there's anything more there. There's the turnover. Roy gets in there on Ehrhoff, a little push. Stewart follows through on his check.
Stewart's been playing quite a bit of late with Brendan Morrow, and Darren, we were talking to Hitch about that, and he really likes that combo because as Morrow really encourages Stewart a lot, because at times Stewie can get his head down and get a little bit discouraged.
And I'll give you an example. For you young hockey players out there, you get discouraged, you've had a discussion with a coach, you don't like where it's going, and then you end up going and sliding down to the furthest point of the bench. Well, there was one game in particular that happened, and Stewart and Gary Agnew had a heated conversation about a play. So Stewart ended up on the far side. Brendan Morrow then moves all the way over to the far side and says, Stewie, get to the middle of the bench. Let's get back into the game. And he says, they'll forget you over here. You don't want to be forgotten. And so he pushed him to the middle. Morrow says, the only problem is I stayed on the end, and I got forgotten. But that's the kind of stuff that Brendan Morrow brings to the table.
But trust me, you can get into the middle and get forgotten about, too.
Here comes Oshie. What a move. They forgot about him, and a shot, and that goes high off the glass. And the Sabres at odd. He'll reverse it now for Pesek. And up the wall to McCormick, who played with Stewart in Colorado, a tough center iceman.
They forget you on purpose sometimes, fellas.
Oh, they never forgot about you, Bernie.
Oh, yes, they did.
That's when you put that one leg over the boards, huh, Bernie?
They forgot me in Detroit a few times.
Now it is Barrett Jackman. Up the middle, Lapierre there. And now it's on the wing to Stafford. We didn't have 24 in Detroit, Bernie. That was the problem.
They're like, who's this 42 guy?
Yeah. Who was it, Probert that had 24?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, you were getting it from him.
No.
In front, Halak makes the save, and he covers Molson. A pretty good chance there.
You got to give this top credit for Buffalo credit. There, I mean, you can see that there's some spirit in the lineup, regardless of their 5-16-1 record, and they're still coming at the Blues, and they've got some good chances right there. You want to be accountable to Ted Nolan, without a doubt. as he is 7 games above 500 in his career.
You know, you can't see the, the depression on the bench, though, Panger. I mean, you can see that, they're working, but, there's no smiles. There's really not a lot of fight left in this team right now, so it's going to be discouraging for them. It's going to take them a while to get going, but you can bet that Ted Dolan's going to keep pushing them.
Sabotka forecheck hard. Ehrhoff up the boards, and then Flynn flies it out. With 3:15 left in regulation time. The Blues in Boston Thursday and home to Dallas on Saturday. And a puck up the middle. At the line. Fanning on his Girgensons. Here come the Blues. Tarasenko. He had the Blues' second goal. That would be the winner. Unless the Sabres score. Now Pesek. Mark Pesek, their first-round pick in 2010. Turns it over. Backes with it. Look out. Steen didn't see Ennis there, and he knocked him off the puck.
Yeah, Ennis came off the bench on a line change. Just a good, solid shoulder-to-shoulder hit.
And now Leno will drop it back for McBain. Leno works it ahead again, but now Cole gets it back for St. Louis.
I'm looking forward to getting into Boston, too, John Kelly and Bernie. Going to that city is always special, always fun. And again, a good matchup between the Big Bad Bruins and the Big Bad Blues.
And great clam chowder.
now we're back on the food again, are we?
Yes, of course.
Here come the Sabres. McBain from the boards, a shot, and that's tipped away. And we get a whistle. Last weekend, over 2,600 girls ran in the Girls on the Run 5K in downtown St. Louis. And Blues defenseman Jordan Leopold had a special connection to the race. Thursday on Blues Live, we'll tell you about Girls on the Run and why it is about much more than just running. Catch the story on the Toyota Blues Live pregame show Thursday at 5:30.
Good stuff there.
With 2 to play in the third period. Stafford moves in. Olsen taken out in the corner. Puck to the front. And Stewart chops it. And he gets it back into Buffalo territory.
That shows the skill there of Stewart, doesn't it? Laterally having to move side to side, then gets right up there, gets it out of the zone. I mean, it is amazing. He's such a big, strong guy, but he's got the runner's thighs. He's got the running back thigh. He can move.
And has some pretty good hands to go with those legs. Now Stafford to center ice.
Just wait till he catches fire here.
He can throw those mitts, too.
Yeah.
That's the good thing, too.
It's going to come in bundles for him, though.
He is a streaky scorer. We know that. As the Blues get the puck to center. But Stewart has been Mr. Setup tonight with 2 assists. And Morrow has the 2 goals.
Well, nice to know. Here's a guy that we know is a 30-goal scorer. And he's got 3. And yet there's not that much heat because the team's winning. And they're getting it from all directions.
In the final minute here in Buffalo. Good forecheck by Lapierre. Reeves shot blocked. Now Pajari picks it up. And that was off a leg in front. And the Sabres have it again. Pesek pounds it up the wall. That's blocked by Pajari, who had his first goal as a Blue early in this third period. Long chip pass by Ehrhoff. And that will go all the way down. Icing called with 29 seconds left in the third period.
Well, good play by Tarasenko on that power play goal, but a better play by Oshie that set it up at 19:24 late on that power play. Nothing was going on, and they stuck with it, got the puck up the ice, and ended up scoring, which looks like will be the game-winning goal, as you mentioned, John. So good moment there for Vladdy Tarasenko.
And now Sabotka steps in on the face-off. But the Sabres, Girgensons takes it. And the puck back to neutral ice. Shattenkirk, far side. Girgensons again. He'll twist one in behind the Blues cage. And there is Shattenkirk. So a good bounce-back effort tonight for the Blues, who lost 4-1 Sunday in Washington. And they'll win it 4-1 tonight as they count it down in Buffalo. That's it, as the Blues go to 14-3-3 behind Morrow's 2 goals.
And a good response from Brendan Morrow, the leadership group, and the goaltender Yaroslav Halak, who made that key save in that second period before Morrow scored his fourth, and he would be our Bud Light player of the game. 14 minutes, a couple of goals, 2 shots, a couple of big hits, and his 27th career 2-goal game.
Blues outshoot the Sabres 31-24, and they win it 4-1. Back with more after this.